Hi everybody, it's Amy at Crafty Cat. So today we are going to sew the signatures into the sewing journal. So I have put in some eyelets and put a ribbon on, and that'll be my closure for this one. So the first thing I usually do is take all the ephemera out of the pages if you've done that already. If you're sewing them in first and then adding ephemera, you won't have to worry about this. It's just I like to take away some of the bulk, and I like to make sure that all my pages are where I want them. You know, sometimes they move a little bit here or there, which isn't a huge deal. It's just I don't want like all these at the bottom. So I'm going to just start taking them out as I come on them. And we'll do a flip through of this, so don't worry. I did add a little piece of Velcro to this just because it was wanting to like flap open, and I didn't like that. So I just put a little piece of Velcro there. We've got the little lady there. So yeah, this is just sort of a good way to make sure that you can get it tied in nice and tight, because you won't be like off balance one way or another, or I don't know. I just find that it makes for a better signature tie-in if I remove all the stuff from it. See, this is that other one that was upside down. This one doesn't bother me as much because it doesn't have those weird heads at the top, but it's the instruction sheet for the pattern instructions, and I kind of like it, so I don't want to cover it. Silly, I know, but take these out. And then this out. Everybody's home today, so you may hear my kids are being kind of goofy. They're being silly. All right, so take all the ones out of this one. Just quite a bit in this journal because it's 3 signatures, and I haven't done 3 signatures in a long time. Oh, I didn't even say, I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. I'm having a good day, just been busy getting some stuff done. I worked on this pretty much all day yesterday, just making tags and stuff. So that I did do without you guys, and sorry, but I figured everybody can, you know, make a tag. That's not that hard, and it would just get monotonous, I think, if we sat and did all that. So I just went ahead and did that on my own, because like I said, it took me most of the day to get all of the pockets filled. Since I'm bad and don't ever do a mass making, which is what I need to start doing. But yeah, if I was smart, I would just make tags whenever I have time and that, but I always like them to go exactly with, you know, the papers and stuff I'm using, but that's just my weird thing. Okay, so that needs to move up a little. I try to set the ephemera, you know, away from each other, you know, separately piles, just so that I know which goes with which signature. Makes it a little bit easier. That one. It's amazing how long it takes you to just make tags. And sewing in my signatures is not my most favorite thing to do in journaling, I'm going to be honest. I just find it really fiddly. I think I kind of struggle with it a little bit. But I think everybody kind of does. I mean, obviously there's people that are better at it than others, but it's just a fiddly process, you know. It's just... And it seems like when I'm on camera, it's even more fiddly for whatever reason. Okay, so I've got those all cleared out. They're still fat because we've got all the ruffles and stuff all on there. So it's not, you know, going to be a perfect situation that way, but at least it will take down some of the bulk. Then the next thing I do, which I already did this one, but is I make a little template that we're going to use to poke our holes. So this one is the same width as my spine, which is 2 inches this way, and then it's, I believe it's 9 inches tall, because that's how tall my book is. And then what I do is take it and score it on my score mat. So I score right in the center, and then I'll score again 1/2 inch out and 1/2 inch out. That way I have 1/2 inches, and this worked out so perfectly because I have a 2-inch spine. So obviously it may not always work out quite as perfectly, but you kind of want to find your center point here and then come out even amounts for your next signature, and then even amount this way, and try to keep, you know, this part even, just so all 4 of these sections are as close to even as you can possibly get. That just makes your signatures in your journal. See, if I have this sitting here, you'll understand, because I'll have 1 signature in this slot, 1 signature in this slot, and 1 signature in that slot. That way it's all evenly spaced. And then these other lines going the other direction are the center of my spine this way. So 4.5, right? Because it's 9 inches long. 4.5 score, and then I do 1 inch from the top and 1 inch from the bottom. And so I usually will say that this is my top point. That just makes it easy. Then you don't get mixed up when you're sewing in your signatures, and then you get your holes off and all that. So anyway, I would prefer to have a pencil to do this, but who knows if I have one of those. Is there any lead left in this one? Oh, there is. Hallelujah. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is poke the holes in our cover for a 3 signature. It's a little different than a 1 signature. When I do a 1 signature, I do the whole thing in my book binding cradle, but because my spine is 2 inches, it's not going to fit in there. I would bend it all up and ruin it. So for this part, I'm going to use a book that I forgot to grab. Let me grab that real quick. There's always something I have to forget. It's a book that I've poked a million holes in. So I'm just going to put that under there. And I'm sure you've seen, like, Gayle CinnamonT, she uses a book to bind hers too. And she doesn't use a book cradle, which is totally fine. You don't have to have a book cradle. I just find it nice for the signatures because it gets you that right on the spine kind of thing. And then I try really hard to obviously make this as even as I possibly can. So that hopefully we don't end up with wonky sewn in signatures. I'm just going to use some little clips to clip it. And now I can see that that one's a little higher than that one. It's always just a little bit of a mess around, you know. You just got to fiddle with it. Be patient with it, which that's my biggest problem, is I'm not really patient with anything. So then what I'm going to do is, you can see where these lines meet. It's very easy, you know. I'm going to poke holes right where those lines meet. And that's where my signatures will be stitched in. So probably if you're just starting making a journal and, you know, you've never done it before, that kind of thing, you may want to start with like a 2-inch spine. So again, this was just a cereal box. And you can often find, you know, a lot of them are 2 inches where the fold of the box is naturally. So that makes a great spine. And by doing that, you'll get your nice even 1/2 inches. It's just a good place to start because you're not trying to do weird, crazy math, you know. I didn't get that totally in the center, so. And then I'm just poking straight through to the book, and I'm going to make all my holes. That way, hopefully, they'll be as even as possible. So I'll bring that up, hopefully, so you can see it a little better. See the holes? And then we'll do these ones. And a template, in my opinion, is really a must for a 3 signature journal, so that your signatures aren't like, you know, taller in the center, and then these 2 are a little bit lower. It's really easy to get your signatures off. So if you do this with the nice, you know, grid sort of fashion, hopefully you won't get much of that, because you don't want, you know, to have your signatures not even or level or whatever you want to call it. I would not want to eyeball a 3 signature. I'll eyeball a 1 signature because I'm just, you know, I don't have to worry about them meeting up right with each other. I'm gonna take off my jacket. This always makes me sweat because I don't know why. You'd think after doing as many as I have, it wouldn't bother me, but I still always find it a little bit stressful. Okay, so we can see here, I have my holes all poked in my spine there. Can you see the holes? Okay, so then I take this off, and this is why I have the top and bottom marked. So I'm taking that off of there, move this out of the way. And then I'm going to take my first signature, and you can start with your first, your last, your middle, however you want to do it. I'm just starting with my first, and then I'm just going to make sure that my pages are how I want them again. I know it seems redundant, but you would be amazed. Like, I've sewn signatures in upside down and all manner of craziness, so you just really want to make sure you have everything the way you want it. Okay, I am going to use my cradle for this part, and like I said, you don't have to have a cradle. So if you don't have one, don't feel like, oh, I can't do it because I don't have a cradle. You totally can. Just use a book. Okay, I'm going to use bigger clips and get these all clipped. I want to make sure they're even though. And I watch Gayle do it. She makes it look so easy. So yeah, if you want to see like somebody that's just really good at it, watch Gayle. I think it just makes me nervous because you put all that time into it, and then it's like, if anything goes wrong, I will be so sad. Okay, and then what I do is I'm going to fold these where the score line is, you know, that I made with my scoreboard. If I could say words, it would be helpful, wouldn't it? And then what I do is, how did I not get... It's not wanting to fold yet, so I'm going to fold it with my bone folder. I did score it, but you know how that goes sometimes. I wanted to fold too far this way for this one and not far enough this way. Okay, sorry about that. I have no idea what happened, but for some reason my camera just decided to turn off on me. So hopefully it won't do it again, because I would like to get through this video without, you know, losing half of it or something great like that. So yeah, after you score it, maybe just make sure that your scores are lining up when you fold it right and all that. It just makes it easier when you sew in the signatures if these are folded, because then you can see exactly where you're gonna need to put the holes. It's still off right here. That's so weird because I scored it. I mean, straight line, scored it, and it's like all off whack. Scored too far that way. Apologize for that. I don't know why, but anyways, so now you can see it's all done like that. So then what I do is I take and I fold this over, and I can still see these little holes. I'm just using these as a marker point, which this might be interesting because I'm probably going to have my head in the way. And then I usually mark where the top and bottom meets on here as well, so that when I line up the next signature, they're the same. So I try to see that I have the same amount here and down here, that little lip that hangs over the page where the spine is, right, on the book. And then I just mark where that meets, so that when I do the next one, I'll be able to see exactly where, and it doesn't have to be a perfect line or anything. And sometimes what I do is I actually, can you see that that's down there in there? I'll just put my pencil tip through the little hole to mark it, and that just gives me my mark right in the signature spine. Okay, so then I take it out. I don't know if you can see down there. I don't really see the middle one very well. So let's see if we can get it again, because I want to be able to see those real well. I use pencil. Some people use pen. I just prefer it because then if I need to, I can erase it. So now I'm going to be paranoid and keep looking at my camera. Why is that one not? Oh, I can kind of see it now. It's not perfect, but... So I'm going to go ahead and do the center one first. And I'm just going in the book cradle because it's got like a little divot down here, and I'll show you when I take this one out. But I just want to make sure I get this center. Just go straight down and it falls in the little divot that's at the bottom. That way you get right on the spine. So even if I mark this in a crooked spot, because this is a little bit up further, then I don't know if you guys can see. This dot is a little up further on the page, but I know if I stick this all in here, it'll just go straight down into that divot. Sorry, I know those are like blinding. And the last one. Okay, and then I'm gonna take some of my, this is upholstery thread, and I bought this, I believe, on Amazon. Where did I put my, see, I had everything here, and then I move things, my needle. And I'm gonna go 3 lengths, so it's just of the journal. 1, 2, 3. And I know, like, Rachel leaves hers attached. I'm just not that talented. It's fiddly enough for me without trying to mess with this dangling off and all that. So that's just me, though. If you can do it that way, that's awesome, because then you get the exact right amount. That's just the way I do it. And everybody does it a little bit different. Like, there are definite similarities, but everybody's got kind of their own style, so to speak, on how to do this. So biggest thing right now is, this is my first signature, so I want to make sure I get it in the first holes, not the second ones, or, you know, and then also I want to make sure I'm going the right direction. Like, my signature is, you know, going the right direction, so I don't mess that up. So I'm going to start from the outside because I am putting that piece of snippet that we made together on the outside, so it'll cover up all the strings. I just prefer that. If you like the strings showing, or you want them in the center of your book so that you can dangle charms on them and stuff, then that's totally your choice. So I just come up through that first middle hole, and I go back in through the middle. And I know this is a super long needle, but I just find this works the best for me. But you can use whatever size you want. And then see, it's coming up through the center. Right there. And then I go down through the top. And then I make sure I'm going in the first top hole. I mean, believe me, I know that sounds stupid that I'm telling you. I'm not trying to treat you like children. I just have messed it up. So just always reinforce with myself that I'm going in the right hole for that signature. It's probably more for me than you. I usually don't have these strings tied on here. I probably shouldn't have. I'm probably going to get all tangled up. And then I come back up through the bottom. So like I've gone from the top all the way down to the bottom. And then I'm going to go back in, if I can do it with my shaky hands, through there. And then back in through that middle part. And this is where I do it different than Gayle. She does it a little bit different than I do that way, but it makes no difference. It's like totally fine either way. So either way you prefer to do it that way. And I gotta figure out which string. I just want to pull these even. Now I can see one thing that's not right. See how this is on this side? I need to make sure I have one string on either side. So see how this long middle string is going right down between each of those threads. And then I pick it up to make sure it's nice and taut. And see how it almost gets like a guitar string? That's the way you want it. So I keep holding it up, and I don't know if I'm the only weirdo that does that, but it just helps me keep the paper tight. and I usually do 2 or 3. And if I was inside the journal, I would do a bow right now. So I would do 2 knots and a bow, but because it's on the outside and we're going to cover that, I'm not worried about bows or any of that. And then I just cut this off. I always leave just a little bit in case I have to fix something. So there's one down. I usually take these off before I tie it, but I forgot, and it's not, see, it's nice and taut, so it's fine. Okay, one down. So let's do the next one. And that's going to be this blue. I just drink a Diet Pepsi, so I'm all jittery. Caffeine has that jittery effect on me. I mean, I already kind of have shaky hands anyhow, but like that makes it worse. And I know that, and I probably shouldn't drink it, but I do. So my own fault. Probably not the day to do that. Okay, so like I said, I just check and make sure my pages are the way I want them real quick. And move them around if I need to. Move this one down just a bit. Okay, and get them all even. Let's set this out of the way for a second again. So we're just gonna keep going through the same process. Oh, and this is that little divot that I was telling you about right in there. And if you're interested in these book cradles, my husband makes these on his 3D printer, and we sell them in my Etsy shop. So if that's something that you're interested in, but like I said, you don't have to have it, so don't feel like you have to have it. But if you like what it does, then we do have them if you want one. I just like it because it gets those holes just right dab in on the spine, which I sometimes have been known to mess that up on my own with a book underneath, so that's why I like the cradle, but definitely not a necessity. Okay, so now I'm gonna go to my second set of holes here, and I mean, technically you can use that first one. It's not, it doesn't really matter that way. Just want to get them even in here. Okay, so I'll start at the center again, straight down, straight down. Okay, sure that stayed. Yeah. Okay, and then you can see how they're just right on the fold, and that's where you want them. So, and then we need 3 lengths, and I don't, it's not perfect, but I just get an idea of about 3. And I like that upholstery thread. That's my favorite to use because it's not waxed, and I find I don't poke through the thread as much as I do if I use the waxed. And that's just a personal preference. Everybody's got the thing they like. Some people like embroidery floss or whatever. It's just what you want. Okay, so again, I want to make sure I'm going to come up through the center this time. And oh my gosh, my hands. For one thing, like I said, this makes me nervous, and then I drink caffeine, so I'm just going to be a big fat mess. Okay, so that was upside down. So now I'm right side up. See? That's why you gotta check. Because I've done it. I've sewn them in upside down. And if you do, just snip the threads and just sew it in again. It's just very aggravating because you're like, why did I do that? Now I have to do it again. Especially like if you're like me and it's not your favorite thing to do. Okay, why does this one not want to go? Sometimes if it's not going through easily, I'll come back in with the awl just to make sure, like maybe one page didn't get poked enough for who knows what reason. But then see, that went right through again. And then I'm going to go through this hole. It's a bummer that she's gonna kind of get covered up, but it's just the way it goes. And you could put something over that, some kind of fabric or something, and I often do that, like a cheesecloth, but this one I just wanted to leave because I like the way it looks, the way it is. So did I go through? Oh no, I did. Okay, I thought I went through the inside. I was like, you're such a dope. Okay, and I sometimes put my finger over the hole when I'm coming back through just a little to see if I'm coming the right spot, coming up the right spot, and back through the middle and out. So this isn't hard, it's just a little time consuming and fiddly. You just have to try to, oopsie, I went through that piece of thread. I don't want that. Here I just said, I don't go through the thread. Went right through it. Okay, I'm putting my string on the other side so that I have one piece of the upholstery thread on one side and one piece on the other side of this central string. And I'm lifting. And you can hear it like, I mean, you don't want to pull so tight, especially if you're coming up through the inside of your journal. Like if I was on the inside right now instead of the outside, you don't want to pull so tight you're going to tear your paper, but it can be pretty snug and it's fine. See, so they're both nice and taut. And I'll just snip that. I have to keep checking my phone. It's really nice not having that computer and all that stuff in here, but I am a little, I loved that Logitech Brio camera that I had. That thing was just awesome. And I do miss that, but I can't hook it to my iPad, so that's the problem there. So I'm just getting like 3 lengths again, roughly. Ouch, I just stabbed myself on the finger. I'm just getting this one ready ahead of time, but it doesn't matter what order you do it it'll all get done. Okay, so, oh, I forgot to take clips off again. Why do I keep doing that? Yeah, I'm still good. Sometimes it just changes how tight it is, and I know Gayle always leaves hers clips on, but for some reason I've had it like make it so mine isn't as tight as I wanted it to be. Okay, just run through the pages here. Stuff does shift around very quickly, so you definitely just want to, you know, make sure everything's where you want it. That's good. That is going to throw me off. I'm like, oh, it's upside down. It's not upside down. That's the one that's upside down. Okay, so where's our center on this one? And this one. All right. Now we got to poke our holes. And top. And get my little lines that I made lined up where I want them, and then I'm just going to poke the holes. You can either use the pencil. Sorry, I just realized I was doing that. I'm using the holes again instead of the pencil trick, but you can do it either way. It's, you know, same thing. Just instead of drawing the pencil marks, I'm just poking the holes. If I can see. Okay, and I'll check, and they all came through fine. Get that thing out of the way now. And then we're gonna come up through the center again on the last one, which is always nice because then you know you're not gonna go in the wrong one. I have done that before where the back all looks the same. It's kind of tricky. And just come up again through here. Oh, I got one page over, so get that all back together and try again. I was a page off, so my needle was coming up between, just did it again. So I'm gonna put my hand down in that crack and kind of push a little bit so that hopefully that paper, there we go. This last page was wanting to lift a little bit, and that happens. So just put your hand in there and put a little pressure on it. And then I go to the top, down, all the way to the bottom, down here. And I'm not even gonna try to get that, all of it in one fell swoop. That's the one good thing when they're not in here tight, you can move them around a little bit. Oh, come on, you little stinkweed. There we go. Just didn't want to for that last one. And then back through the center and out. Out we go. So not too awful fiddly this time. I mean, I always just feel like a big dope doing this for some reason, but get it nice and taut. Is that one? Oh, that's that loose. I was like, is that loose? No, it's not. Lifting more. Just for good measure. Okay. All right, so I think those are all good. Let's check. Take off our doo-wah-diddy here. Get some of this junk out of my way. Amazing how many little pieces of stuff you get out. Sorry, I just totally wiggled you guys all over the place. Okay, let's see what we got here. Looks good. I've got one little crazy doily piece there.
That's really nice. Thanks.
I don't know why that went off. I must have said something close to its name, so it talked to me. Okay, so now we have this we can tie up. And it looks good. I think it's good. So I'm going to go ahead and put the spine cover on here. So if I can figure out what I did with it, there it is. And we're going to use tacky glue because that's what I like. I've had it sitting upside down, so hopefully it will. I'm actually going to go ahead and tie it. I think that'll help me with, I don't want to bend pages, you know, when I'm doing that. I love this fabric for tying these. It tears really nice and frays. I don't know what kind of fabric that is, but so now I should be able to set it up a little bit like that. And I'll just get these kind of central. And I put a little glue on each of those little dots. I know that might not be what everybody else does, but that's the way I do it. Everybody's got their way. And I try to get these under some kind of control. You can snip them off shorter. This is just my thing. And I'm going to go ahead and cover the whole thing. You want to be pretty generous because it's going to hold that on. You don't want it falling off. And I will rub it around a bit with my finger to get it nice and even. Oopsie. Put the lid on that because otherwise it'll ooze all over the place. Try to keep those strings sort of going in a direction. This old paper sucks up any kind of glue or anything. It's a little bit better since I did the Mod Podge. And then this is just going to go on, and we're going to try to get as central as we can here. Kids are jabbering at each other. Feel very fortunate because they get along very well for being teenagers. I know sometimes kids don't, but they've always gotten along pretty good. Had their moments, but we all have those. I'm just going to do it then, kind of bead along here and try to get this to come over. I didn't make it very wide. I probably should have made it a touch wider, but I didn't want it to cover a lot of that. So I'm hoping that it'll stay down okay. Just gonna have to fiddle with it for a few minutes, I think. Just one of those deals. And then this is lifting too because these didn't get stitched all the way at the edge, so I probably will go ahead and glue those a little bit because I want them to stay down. And I'm sure there's loads of ways to do this, and if you have a way that you prefer, then do it that way, because that's how we do these things, right? We all have our ways, and everybody seems to figure out a different way, which is awesome, because sometimes that helps all of us have better ideas. What they're doing. My daughter has to go to work. She doesn't want to. She's been saying all day, I don't want to go to work. It's like, yeah, I don't think any of us ever really want to do that, but that's what we do. Except my job now is awesome, but I still sometimes have my days. I'm like, I don't know what to do for a video. You know, you just kind of, I don't know what to do. I get in a rut. Okay, I think that's so cool. I really love this journal. I love how it turned out. I mean, I'm not tooting my own horn. I'm just saying I really like it. Okay, so I'm gonna put all the goodies back in, and that'll kind of give you guys a flip through too to see what it all looks like. Oh, you know, I kind of want to let this dry. So, you know what? I'm going to let it dry. I'll put everything back in, and then I'll come and do a flip through so you guys can see. I don't want to open that until it's dry because I'm afraid I'll end up with a bubble somewhere that I don't want. So I'm going to let that dry, and I'll be right back. All right, so I am back, and I have finished it. It is all ready to go. Cindy, are you so happy? Oh my gosh, has it been a while or what? So it's all done, and it's 9x6 and has 3 signatures, which you can see here, nicely sewn in, and our fabulous ruffles. And some people have been asking about a video on how to make the ruffles, and I'll work on how to do that because I just don't. My sewing machine is across the room, and so I have to figure out a way to film that. So, okay, so when we open it up here, we have a fabric snippet pocket, and it has that journaling card in it. I just loved this image. I know it doesn't really have anything to do with sewing. I think it's more of a Mother's Day image, but it's just so cute, and like the colors just went so well. So that's how that ended up there. And then this is TaylorMade Journals wallpaper. And I can never remember the set that I have. I think it might be set 3. I don't know. But I will list it in the description box below this video. So, and this is also tailor-made journals. And then we have some food colored paper here and a little cluster and our ruffle up there. And this is out of a Family Circle or something like that magazine. Yeah, Family Circle right there, it says. Magazine, and it was 1952, and Cindy told me that's the year she was born, so that's awesome that I managed to put that in there without even realizing. A little journaling card here in our little tuck, and these tucks don't come off, so even if you take off this paper clip, they don't come off. This was more just for more decoration sort of thing, and you could clip something else on the other side too. And a little ruffle, and I can't remember where that paper comes from. This is tailor-made journals. And then this is one of our little sewing pattern tissue paper envelopes. And inside there are 3 journaling cards, or tags, whatever you want to call them, all tucked away in there. And I did, like I said, I added a little piece of Velcro there and there because it was flapping open and I was afraid it was going to get bent, you know, weird. And then there's 2 fairly large tags back here. And these are out of that home ec book that I have. And I didn't cover them with anything because I just thought it was kind of fun to see what she wrote and stuff like that. So I didn't want to decorate them further, but they could be decorated further. And that pink paper, and there's, this is just a piece of transparency paper with some kind of polka dot printed on it. And I just cut it into like a little pocket. And this is the journaling card on a 3x5 card. I had to cut it down a little bit to fit in there, so it's not actually 3x5 anymore, but that's what the card was originally. And it's neat because you can see the lady through that transparency paper. This is Allie, the Cockney Crafters Faux Fabric, her first set. That's sewing pattern instructions. This is from Gayle CinnamonT, all these bright colored numbers and things. And I will have that listed in the description box as well. And that pocket design comes from Wendy's at Wendy's Journal Adventures. I saw Gayle make them, but Wendy's the one that came up with the idea originally. And we have some ruffle. This is Allie the Cockney Crafters. That's her mocha&chi, I believe. And I don't know why I can't remember the name of this company, but I'll list it again. Doily. This is graph paper or ledger paper. Some green food dyed paper. There's some little specks of yellow in there. And then more of that book that's like the home ec book there. And another ruffle. And this is the same company as the picnic check sort of thing there, that one. And this is Grammy's Keepsakes, which is what the other coffee might have been, as Grammy's Keepsakes. Blue paper, and this is the home ec book, green paper, or yeah, that is the green, sorry. I saw this and got confused, but this is ledger, and more of that picnic kind of blanket. Yeah, that's Grammy's Keepsakes, I think. And the sewing instructions in Allie, and this is also Allie the Cockney Crafters Faux Fabric, pink paper. This is tailor-made journals. That's what that one is. And then here we have this large tag. It's actually a belly band. It goes all the way through, but it's also a pocket. So in that pocket, there's that journaling card. And this is from my 1923 add-on. And then we have Allie's. There's all kinds of stuff. That's some Gayle. I found this and just thought it was too cute and wanted this picture in here. And it's out of a magazine. But isn't that so funny? How oh, sorry, you guys can't even see. I'm like, hey, can you tell? Yeah, she's hugging that bottle of starch. I just thought it was funny. So anyway, and then I just backed it with some manila drawing paper. So that goes right in there in the belly band portion. Just thought that was too fun. And that's more of that family circle and little one of our clusters and some ruffle. And then this pocket has these, and this again is from my 1923 add-on. And that's also from my 1923 add-on. Or that might be from just the 1923. I can't remember. I think that might be in the 1923. That's my price tags. This is an actual price tag. But, and Allie the Cockney Crafter's Faux Fabric, backed with ledger. And that, again, is one of those pockets that, or not pockets, but that's that home ec book. And I did add a little cluster on here because there was nothing at the bottom of this one. So I did that. And that's Tailor-Made Journals, Tailor-Made Journals, Tailor-Made Journals. Pink paper. And that's the 1952 Family Circle again. And blue paper. And then we have this little pocket that has that piece. And this is all collaged. And then here is a 3x5 card that I just collaged on the front. And then I just added, you know, a few different pieces of the colorful food colored paper. So that's lots of writing space. There's definitely loads of writing space in this journal. Yellow and Allie the Cockney Crafter. Oh, this is from my old love notes. I just tried to get things that reminded me of fabric, really, is what I was going for there. And the home ec book, green paper. And this is our envelope that wraps around the page. There's a library card, that's the word. And then on the back, and I colored this with the Distress Oxides, and then just all collage. Some, this is fabric, these are fabric, so yeah, that's fun. And then there is a pocket behind too. There's nothing in that one, but I did like this one with the girls peeking through there. That looks cute. And then this is the other side of the envelope as it wraps around the page. And again, I liked it said seersucker plain and 39 cents a yard. Can you imagine? That would be so awesome. And then this just is a 3x5 cardigan. The color of those was so great with this. And a collage there. Some ruffle. And this is where we covered up the weird upside down heads. This is Allie the Cockney Crafter. And this is also her Faux Fabric set one. And that's the other side of that. And pink paper. And this is Allie's Pretty in Pink. And that's her Faux Fabric and green. And ledger. And that's Allie. And then this is another one of our little geometric cluster things that we made. And in there is this large ad, and I thought it was cool, and I even included the part that you would clip off and send in to get the free style catalog. I just did a little bit of fabric here to stick out the side, and then it's the pink paper on the back. So I just thought that was fun. That's from a 1957 work basket is where that comes from. And then this is that Tim Holtz piece that I did on camera there. And then this is from Lori at oh my gosh, Enchanted Dream 71. Sorry, Lori just drew a complete blank. And she put a piece of fabric and did this really cool stitch. My sewing machine doesn't do that cool stitch, but I did one like it using a blue 3x5 card. Some fabric up there, and I just stitched it regular because that's what my machine does. But yeah, super fun. And so I copied her cool idea and did one for the other side of that, which I thought was fun. You can even kind of clip this in here to help it hold it if you would like, because this is just a little tuck. And then here's a corner pocket and a couple of tags in there. Blue paper. Tailor-Made Journals, Tailor-Made Journals, and you can kind of see her, so very cool. And she's peeking. So I'm glad I did not cover her up. And that's the 1952 Family Circle again. And then this is a digi that I am currently working on. It'll be done probably by the time you see this video, but I won't do a flip through of it until the following day. So you'll be able to see the whole digi on Tuesday. It's a spring one. So anyway, I didn't really get on the bandwagon with Easter this year. I'm just late on everything, I feel like, but it's springy. It could go Easter or it can go just spring. So I thought that was a loose one, but it's attached. A couple of journaling cards there. I just am running behind, I feel like. I think I've just had a lot going on. This is a Rolodex, or not a Rolodex, oh my goodness, card catalog card. Wow. But they don't even have such a thing anymore, but that's what that is with the hole in it. And so I just went ahead and put a piece of fabric in there and did some collaging and stuff. But yeah, card catalog cards, that's the word. Doily. Ledger Pink. This is Allie the Cockney Crafter's Faux Fabric, the second set. And this is her Pretty in Pink Digi. And I went ahead and added that snippet little edge thing that I made. And then here's a little Tim Holtz paper back here. And then I just added some things on it. These funny little, like help wanted home sewers, earn extra cash, that kind of thing. I just thought that was kind of funny. So I put that on there and snipped around one of those fabric ladies. And this also has the different colored food dyed paper stitched in. So that just tucks in there. And this is Allie the Cockney Crafter's, that's her faux fabric number 2. And this is Grammy's Keepsake. It's a digital, it's not real coffee dye, but that's what that is. And then that one might be Allie's. Allie's got the mocha&chi too, which is awesome, which I use a lot, so it could be that one too. This little guy that we made in one of the videos, but anyway, it's a book page, and this one happens to be a dictionary book page, so it's a little bit bigger, but it opens, you can write here, and then it opens again, you can write on those, and then I left the back with just the dictionary. I thought I would glue it down, but I ended up putting it in a pocket, so it could be covered if you want it covered. And there's another one of those from the home ec book, 29 cents. So cool. Put that in there. And then this is that home ec book again, and there's little writing and questions and answers here. Some blue colored paper and instructions from a pattern. And this is Allie's Faux Fabric. That's the first set. And this is Tailor Made Journals. Grungy Wallpaper. I can't remember which set because she's got a bunch of them. And that's the instructions again. Blue paper. More of the home ec book. Green dyed paper. That's, I'm not sure whose that is. I don't know. I'm sorry. It's hard to remember, and I've been working on this journal for a while, so those kind of things. It's either Grammy's Keepsakes or Allie the Cockney Craft Shop. So that's, and this is Allie's. And that's Allie's. And Allie's. So yeah, there's loads of places to write. This is an altered paper clip, so this one does come off all the way. And you can see it's just one of those fabric snippets that I made the pockets in the front and back out of. Just a yellow piece that I had, so I backed it with a 3x5 card and a yellow paper clip, and just so it can go on there. And then it holds this green colored paper. I just put a little fabric along here, and then some of those, you know, wanted ads or whatever, 3 beautiful aprons, assorted colors. I don't know, they just cracked me up. So, and those are from Work Basket magazine, the 1955 or 6 one. And then here's our envelope out of the sewing pattern instructions, and we have a tag there out of a 3x5 card. And then inside there's 2 teeny little mini tags that just tuck in there. And that one I didn't really feel like I needed to Velcro. It seems to be okay. The other one was a little bit bigger and floppier, and I just was worried it was going to get bent. So, and the magazine again from 1952. little collage and tailor-made journals. And then here's our pocket back here out of a Snippet. And then our little book that we made out of the sewing tissue. With, oh, I forgot to put tags in here. So I will put tags in there, Cindy, before it goes out to you. So yeah, super fun. I should leave that out or I'll forget to put tags in it. All right, so that is the sewing journal, and you got to see sewing in the signatures and the whole 9 yards. So I hope that you guys enjoyed it and that it was helpful. And that is our video for today. I love you guys. I'll talk to you later. Bye now.